What's happening, Pokemaniacs? All my good people out there. Heckle Jam. We're going to run into the Knoxville tier list. I know I'm late. Let's get into it. Giratina is obviously the deck to beat, right? S tier for sure. It's not only is it a very strong competitive deck in its own way, it's also being piloted by a lot of the best players right now, so it seems. It's top two the last four tournaments, including one being a mirror, and it's won three of those, losing only to. No, sorry, it's lost to Charizard and it's lost to the Mew so far. So, Giratina is the deck to beat, right? For sure. S tier. I'm spoiler. It's my winner pick. I think it's probably going to win again. It's definitely going to be top two again. Top four for sure. For sure. I'm not expecting a whole lot of big metagame shakeups. Giratina is the deck to beat. Absolutely. If Giratina is going to be beat, it's probably Charizard, which I still consider S tier. Of the last four events, it's what? One, two. It's half of the last four events, final two, right? So Charizard is legit for sure. It does seem like it has a poor Giratina matchup. It depends on a few things. It did beat it once, right? So if a deck is going to beat Giratina, Charizard's the most likely candidate, right? It has an even enough matchup against the rest of the field. You walk into a tournament with Charizard and feel good. Is definitely S tier in my opinion. So let's get into this, right? S tier. That is a deck to beat. If you have a losing matchup against this deck, don't play it. You want to win the tournament, you play. If you're going to win the tournament, you're playing an S tier deck, or you've got a really good meta read with one of the lower tier decks, right? That's how I'm approaching this. So that's what I think about Giratina and Charizard. Definitely the two best decks to beat. Let's just go in order. Valiant, Entei, way down. I don't need to spend much time on this, do I? It's just, if it was, this meta now is similar to how the meta has been for the last four tournaments. I do expect this meta at Knoxville to be a little bit different. It's going to be influenced just a bit by Mew winning, right? But I don't think it's going to be hugely influenced by that, because the US, the North American continent, and the European continent's metagames don't line up totally. They influence each other a bit, but not directly, at least not immediately directly. Mew winning, we're going to see, I think, a bit of an increase in how much Mew is played. I don't think it's going to warp the format. Sorry, excuse me, the metagame, because they are different, in any huge, like, unprecedented way, right? We're going to have a little bit more Mew probably. And especially because Mew's rotating soon, so a few people who like the Mew, like, yeah, we're going to rock it with Mew. So there's going to be a higher amount of Mew. And that makes Iron Valiant, get back to this, even worse of a choice. Don't play Iron Valiant. Lost Zone. Now, this little picture here makes it look like we've got just the Iron Hands version. It separates the Mews. It separates the Chien Paos. All right, cool. Don't separate the Lost Zone. Yep. If this is Lost Zard, if this is Lost Kyogre, if this is Lost Hands, Moon, Charizard, fucking whatever, all the like combinations they run, I think it's S tier. I think if one deck that's not these two is going to win, it's probably Lost Zone. I think this is a pretty good meta for Lost decks. The increase in Mew, depending on which version of Lost Zone you're playing, right, can be a good thing. It can be a less good thing. I think Giratina players themselves say that they struggle in the Lost Zone, Lost Pile matchup. So if there's going to be a ton of Giratina, which I do think there is, this, I think, is a good play. If it's not one of these two decks, I think it's going to be either a well-constructed Lost Pile deck, or it's going to be a run-in hot-ass Miraidon. I think Miraidon is tier 1 at this point for sure. I don't think it's quite S tier, but I think Miraidon is getting figured out, right? It's the 60. It's never had a set 60. There's been different versions of Miraidon. I won't kick off at length about this because I have some opinions about Pokemon Catcher. I'm upset at the community for not already playing Pokemon Catcher in the Miraidon list and in the Roaring Moon list. You know, I've just been back for a couple months. I didn't sit down and take a big look at the set list, right? Like what is playable right now, what cards are legal. I should do that. But so I was looking at the list for Miraidon and Roaring Moon back then, a couple months ago. I was like, I guess Pokemon Catcher's not in the format. Anyway, I won't play Pokemon Catcher. I think Pokemon Catcher is the way to play Miraidon and the way to play Moon. I think for sure. I also like the XP share. I'm not sold that that's the best way, but it's the way that I would play. If I was to play Miraidon for this event, I would definitely play Pokemon Catcher, XP share, and Double Flappy, and go for a little bit more of the Raichu gameplay. Probably Path, too, if I didn't already say that. I think that is a solid, decent, cover the big bases and make your life a little bit more long-lived kind of Miraidon. I think that has a good chance right now. Both Mew are easily tier 1. They just won the last one, right? I don't think they're S tier. I think they're close, but I don't know. Some Mews are beating Charizards out there, right? It is happening if you go to the Limitless and see the winning Mews and such and such. The tournament winner, I believe, beat far more Charizard than they lost to. So Mew, solid play, could definitely win the event. Mew's good. Roaring Moon, maybe a tier 2. Ross's list clearly shows that Roaring Moon can work. I stand by what I say about Pokemon Catcher with the Roaring Moon. You want Pokemon Catcher in this deck, in my opinion. God, it's just so good. 1 heads out of 2, or if you're only playing the 1, change the game, right? Flippy cards, you don't like flippy cards. I'm going to make a video about flippy cards at some point, all right? We got the Pokemon Catcher Boomer opinion, and we got the flippy cards opinion. Maybe it's the same video, who knows? Anyway, Salamence, a Roaring Moon, is a real deck now. The Ross list, I'm going to call it that for simplicity's sake, shows that Roaring Moon, and with that top 8 along with it, can indeed do well at a tournament. It's not just a meme, right? Arceus, I'm going to say tier 2. It's getting top 8s here and there. It's cool. There's different Arceuses, right? This only shows the Gigas, but like, let's imagine Arceus Rayquaza, Arceus, which got 2 top 32s, right? Once is a fluke. 2 of them in top 32. There might be something there. Anyway, Arceus pile, whatever Arceus, I'm going to say tier 2. It hasn't won an event in the last little while to be tier 1. And top 8s are good, but I think that's where it stays. It's tier 2. Come on. It's not winning, right? It's not winning. It's not winning. Speaking of what's not winning, man, I'm sorry. Both Chin Paos, any Chin Pao, I'm putting in tier 3. I don't think Chin Pao has got what it takes to win. It's not consistent enough. It's too fragile. You kill a Baxcalibur at the right time. You kill a Bibarel at the right time. Get the Path at the right time. They discard the wrong things off the Pokestop there, right? It's too fragile. I do not like Chen Pao. Fun for League Cup. There's certain metas where you want to play Chen Pao, right? Like there's certain metas where if you expect A, B, C, and you go into that with Chen Pao, you're feeling fucking good. You're confident. Sorry, I keep forgetting that I'm allowed to swear on this. So Chen Pao, too fragile. I don't like it. Tier 3 in my opinion. Snorlax is the one deck that makes me think, okay, this tier 1.5 crap that people do maybe has something to it, because Snorlax, it hasn't been winning events. It won Poland, right? So I shouldn't say that. It's tier 1 in the sense that it can win an event, and in the sense that if you want to make top 8, Snorlax is probably not a bad choice. Day 2 for sure. Like, if you're good at Snorlax, you know what you're doing with Snorlax, you can take it far. But can you win the event with it? I think now people respect Snorlax enough, the right players respect Snorlax enough, that getting into top 8 with Snorlax, you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're up against people who really know how to play against Snorlax and who have techs or decks, some game plan against Snorlax. Top 8, top 4, is probably where Snorlax finishes. I don't see Snorlax making many more top 2s in the season as far as the regionals go. We'll see. And for that reason, I feel like it's tier 2, but the top of tier 2. But in virtue of having won a regionals in this format, right? I do put it at tier 1. You have to be prepared for Snorlax at a tournament. Otherwise, you're really rolling the dice, in my opinion. Gardevoir, tier 1. It's like an S tier deck, right? Everybody knows Gardevoir's so good. It is an S tier deck, but when you get into the metagame of how much time you have, how fast can you play, how quick can you make good decisions with a difficult deck in 50 minutes, Gardevoir's tier 1 for that. And not only that, the meta, there's a meta within a meta about Gardevoir here, where players want to bring Gardevoir, players hype Gardevoir, but don't perform as far as winning these big regionals because of that time issue. I'm rambling. I forgot what my point was. There's another metagame happening here. If I remember it, we'll jump back to it. If I don't, join the stream, hit Cool Jam on Twitch or YouTube, and remind me, and I'll bring it up there. Rapid Strike. Everybody was loving Rapid Strike, thinking that it was the play for Portland, right? And then probably a good play for San Antonio as well. And it never delivered. It was hyped. It never delivered. I never thought it was very good. But again, I've only played for the last 2 months, like getting back into the game, you know what I mean? And so I wasn't as familiar with it. I played against it a handful of times, plenty of times, really, on live. Didn't feel terribly impressed by it. It was a good read, a good meta play at a couple of these regionals, but I think the time has passed. But then again, we see the winning Giratina list. It's not playing any Manaphy or Jirachi. We do see decks cutting the Manaphy, the Jirachi. Cresselia is cut from Gardevoir a lot now. Not always, but sometimes. So maybe the right player can catch people unprepared and walk away with a win. Hasn't happened yet, so I'm putting it in tier 2. Miraidon Reggie is not supposed to be in the list. I don't know why it's there. Cloth, tier 3. Come on now. Cloth. You have to respect Cloth. I laugh and I say, come on now, but you have to respect Cloth. If you don't respect Cloth and you play against Cloth and you just think, oh, okay, free win, unless that is backed by you, like, knowing how to play against Cloth, you might be surprised by how effective it can be. It is not going to win a regionals. It is making day 2 consistently. It's probably Cloth in every day 2 in this format so far. So you do have to be prepared for it. You have to know what it does. I wouldn't play it. But if you like that kind of deck, if like being weird is your thing, go for it. Get your Cloth on. And if being weird is your thing, like it is my thing, like it was my thing, still is my thing, Goldengo might be for you as well. I put a lot of testing into Goldengo. It was my LAIC, like dark horse pick. It didn't turn out to be that good at that time. The Kyoto list with the Palkia, as we see here, broke it open a bit more. It's a bit more manageable as far as being a real deck that has actual matchups. I stand by. Goldengo has a good Charizard matchup. I got second place with Goldengo at a city championship. That's not what they're called anymore. League Cup. Dating myself here at the League Cup with Scizor, not with Palkia. And that was before Kyoto, right? So I got second place. Who cares? But also, that was against a bunch of Miraidon and Charizard. And I think Miraidon was Scizor. I know most Goldengo ain't playing Scizor. Miraidon's free if you have Scizor. And anyway, Goldengo of Palkia is cool. It's got its tricks. It's fun. I'm still not convinced. I'm not convinced that Palkia is the best way to play it. I could see Palkia Goldengo. I could see it finding a top 32, if not a top 16 placement. I don't think it makes top 8. I'm going to say, God, it hasn't impressed us so far, yeah? we'll have at least one in top 64, maybe top 32. 64, 64, 32, maybe 32. Definitely 32. Probably top 16. Top 16 again. Or top 8 again, maybe? People are hot on the Roaring Moon. I'm going to say top 8 for Roaring Moon. Roaring Moon's going to see another top 8. Top 8. We'll probably see a Mew in top 8. Snorlax, probably not. Gardevoir, I'm not expecting it. Could be. Top 16, top 16, top 8, top 8, top 8. That's my predictions for Knoxville. I've been right on the money with some of my past predictions. I wasn't perfect about Liverpool. I put a tweet up about that, about what I thought was going to be good. I wasn't totally right on the money, but I wasn't entirely wrong either. Lost Box did well. It got top 4. I said it would do well. Snorlax, they like their Snorlax. We got Snorlax in top 4 as well. Giratina in top 2. That choice is free though, right? Charizard took a dip. I thought it was going to take a dip. I'm not sure if that's verbalized well in the tweet. And then another Lost Box deck. So my one wrong call, I feel, was I thought Miraidon would be a top 8 play as well. And we see here that Miraidon isn't even in the top 16. Is it honest to God not even in the top 32? There's no way. There's no way. Anyway, so I was wrong about Miraidon. I might be wrong about Miraidon again. I think this is a good spot in the meta for Miraidon. I think Europe also doesn't like Miraidon the same way North America does. We'll see. Those are my hot takes. I wanted to put this out there. I mean, they're not so hot, right? I think they're pretty fair assessments of the metagame and of the tournament. Let's see how right I am. Let's see if me putting this on video evidence, tweet evidence, rather than just saying to my girlfriend when I'm watching the stream, look, I knew that was the right play. Oh, I knew that was a good play. Look, I called this top 8. Let's see. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you comment, subscribe, leave the subscribe, the bing that shit. Bing the ding. Subscribe, comment, go to twitch.tv.co.uk.com and //hetcooljam. Hetcooljam is what you want, all right? YouTube, Twitch, hetcooljam, bing the ding, so that next month when you bing a ding and I upload a video, you got golden bonged bing. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.